Hey guys, welcome to a new series called Walk by Faith. Now, in this series, we share real stories of real people striving to follow God's will in their lives. Here we meet ordinary men and women who have lived the faith, wrestled with it, and allowed Christ to meet them where they were. Each episode reminds us that faith is not just something we believe, but something we live, and that God is always at work, guiding those who choose to walk with Him. So, please enjoy. Hi, Kelvin and Amulya. Welcome to this series on Walk by Faith. Could you introduce yourself and share a little bit about your family?
Sure. So it's been 8 years that we are married, and currently we have six kids. We are parents of six kids. We have 3 kids on earth and 3 kids in heaven, and we have been going around traveling because of our work. So that's where we are, who we are.
That's a very interesting way to put it. Six kids you have, 3 kids on earth and 3 kids in heaven. Could you elaborate more on that? Maybe start from the beginning with the vision you had for your marriage.
So I think right before marriage, when we were having our courtship period, and when we were discussing about our family and our vision for our family, um I always wanted lots of kids. I always desired that we need to have a family with lots of kids, so that we can have a big family. We can have lots of fun. We can share things. We can not like a small family. And I think I was sharing the same during one of the programs also with Amulya, but I think she had a
Amulya,
different.
did you also want a big family?
In fact, initially, I remember my dad asking me, how many kids do you want? And I had told him 2, maximum 3. But in my time with God, in my prayer time with God, I could sense God ask me, like, why the limit? Why is the set number? Why not more? And I remember telling God, like, I can't manage. I don't think I would be a good mom. I don't think I will be happy with so many children. I think it will be too stressful. I think it will affect my health. So I had all these fears and doubts about having a lot of children. I thought it might be irresponsible, selfish. These are my thoughts. But there was this one time where I was with a lot of our friends and family, and we were having a wonderful time together. We were laughing, talking, pulling each other's legs. And I sensed God ask me, are you having fun? It's like, yes, Lord, I am. This is good. And He's like, this is my vision of a family where you have people of different age groups sitting at a table, talking, laughing, crying. And this is what family is. And I was like, Lord, but I don't think I can do that. And He's like, you're not alone. You and your husband are not alone. I will be with you and I will help you through it. And He led me to a verse, I think it's Psalm 127, verse 5, where it says, Blessed is the man who has a lot of children, for his quiver is full, and he will not have to be ashamed when he is at the gates of his enemy. And I was like, wow, it is good to have a quiver full. There is so much power in that. There's so much security in that. And it's like, okay, Lord, if this is your vision for a family, then I also want that vision. And that helped me be open to having a lot of children. And now, if you ask me, do you want a lot of children? I'm like, yes, I do want as many children as we could possibly have.
Also for us, I think when we were having the discussion, when are we going to have a children? When we were thinking of starting a family, this is before the marriage, and we were discussing about it. And for me, it was very clear that if I'm going to stand at their altar and during the nuptials, I'm going to say yes to the children. Like, this is what our discussion was like. I'm not saying I'm ready for we are ready for children after a month or after 3 months or after a year. We are saying we are yes to children right there at that moment. And I think that very moment when we got married, on that day itself, we were looking forward to having children, and we were looking forward to have, like, to start a family right there. And I think as we progressed and as we moved ahead, very soon we were pregnant. And because of my work, I was traveling, and there was this time where Amulya was at a different place, and I was at a very far off place, where our first pregnancy where she came to know that there's no heartbeat, and then she rushed to the hospital. There are no movements, and then she rushed to the hospital to check. There's no heartbeats, and we came to know that we had our first miscarriage, and that really broke our heart. In many ways, one, I was not there with Amulya at that moment, and to process that entire time, it was really hard for us. Like we always thought like God is with us. We always thought like it's his blessing. He's gonna take care of it, and we kept praying for our child. We kept praying for each other, and the very first child to know that we lost a child, to it was just unimaginable to figure out what to do, and I think she had a own experience during that time.
Yeah, so I was not too happy. Okay? Like already, I know that God allowed me to be open, gave me the grace to be open to more children. And after I have been open, and then I was like, Lord, we were open. We wanted children. We were happy to have children. So why did this happen? Why this loss? Why did this baby have to die? Did I do something wrong? Did Kelvin do something wrong? There didn't seem to be a good explanation. And I came back to that verse. I was like, God, you inspired this verse. You helped me understand that it will be good to have a quiver full. It will be good to have a lot of children. How can we have a lot of children if our babies are going to die? And this is our first child. So I was struggling. I was struggling in my faith with God. I didn't want to pray. I remember telling Kelvin, like, I love you, but I'm struggling to love God at this moment. And I'm not sure how to process this. So help me. And that is when God really used him to help us through that particular moment. And that is when Kelvin was like, our quiver is not empty. Though our baby is dead, our quiver is not empty. Because though that arrow is not with us, that arrow is now in heaven. And our child is in heaven and praying for us. And he is a warrior for us. And so God is still true to his word. And that is when it became real, much more real, that, a child is not alive after being born. A child is alive from the time of conception. We experienced him within us only for 3 months. But for us, he is still a part of our family. So that is how we went through our first miscarriage.
And for us also, I think knowing that we are a parent now. It's not that we are not parents. We are parents now, because the moment we knew that she's pregnant, we knew that we are parents, and we are parents of a child. So it became very important for us. We had spoken to others also, and they had also mentioned to us it's very important that you name your child. It's important that you offer a mass and pray for the child. And that really helped us to have a relationship with that child, helped us to talk to God about the child. We named our first child Roswell, and we offered a mass for Roswell. We were able to pray to God, and it gave us a solace. Like we truly, it's not a hope that we have. We truly believe that He's in heaven, and He's praying for us. And that gives us like a peace that we have a constant intercessor. And that is what we were discussing is we felt that God really knew that we needed a constant intercessor, and that is why our first child had to directly go to heaven, because there's a greater plan and there's a greater good for what it is, and that is what gave us that consolement. And following that, immediately we were still going through a lot to process about if we have done anything wrong. Maybe is it because of our travel, because of our food? Like initially, I remember we went to the doctors, asked the doctors, is there something wrong from our side? Can you tell us what went wrong? Why does this happen? We had a lot of questions to clarity. And even during that time, it was a Hindu gynac of different faith who told us, like, don't focus on what is lost. Don't focus on this miscarriage and figuring out what has happened. Look towards the future, because God will still bless you, uh, with a child. Look towards that and, move forward. And that really helped us, like, to not really dwell and just stick back to the old, like why and what and how, which things are unknown and uncertain for us, and to dig deeper in that, but rather to look forward to the future. And we look forward for bigger family. And then we were blessed with Oliver, our oldest son, and currently he's going to be 7 in few days. Um Interestingly, few years after that, when we were conceived again, the third time, uh, and we lost our child again. And
And this time after 5 months.
yeah,
We just heard the heartbeat, and 2 days later, he expired.
and it was the time during the pandemic, and it was quite a struggle for us to figure out what is happening. We were in a new place. um, we didn't know many people around, and because of pandemic, nobody could reach out to us. We were not able to reach out to others. To go to the hospitals were already filled with all the other patients and stuff. To be able to go to the scan, to figure out what is happening, to go the right approach. But I think even during that time, we felt the peace of God in us. We were not as anxious as the first miscarriage we had. I mean, we suddenly filled with peace, because even before the doctors said anything, we both knew, like, I think this is what has happened. We both knew that I think this is where it is headed. And we remember, after the scan, like, when we went to meet the gynac, even before we met the gynac and gynac telling us what it is, we both knew and we were prepared for that news. And then the gynac shared, like, this is it. We kind of came to know about it. But the the interesting part in this miscarriage was, we were actually able to uh, hold. We named our third child David, and we were able to hold him in our hands. We were able to uh, bury him. We were able to offer a mass for him. We were able to pray for him, and that helped us also to go through those that time. Um, yeah, and I mean, for you.
Yes, the strength that we received from the first miscarriage helped us through the next one. Just because we had come to terms with, yes, we have not lost our child completely. That child, whatever our life is, it's not just here on earth, and we have a life in heaven. So we have not lost him completely. We are going to meet him someday. We just not getting to experience him here. And having Oliver with us helped us also to, at least for me, channel my energy, be more focused. Like, okay, uh, there is still joy. The joy is not gone. Maybe David is not with us, but it's not over. And post that, we had 2 children, Miles and Elora. So we were like, and my thought was like, okay, fine, it's smooth sailing from here, and this is it. Okay, 2 losses, it's fine. And when we were pregnant again for the 6th time, um, during one of the scans is when we came to know that he's having some defects. He had some issues in his heart, and that was when my faith again started, like, being challenged. So it was during one of the scans where the doctor tells us that the child has defects and we don't know if the child will survive after birth. So while the child is in the womb, we don't really know what the condition is. We don't know if the child will even survive the pregnancy. But the only thing we can do for the child is make the child be born, and only after that we can see what can be done. I remember waiting for my turn to meet the cardiologist, the one who takes care of the heart of the fetus. And I was like, Lord, all I can think about my child is that this is a broken weak baby that is within me, I can't do anything. As a mother, I can't hold this baby. I can't console this baby. Um, I'm still trying, I would still try to talk to the child within me and say, it's okay. We got you and God is with you. But while I was saying that, I myself was feeling broken and weak. And so that time I called to God, Lord, you be my strength. And at that moment, I was like, okay, Lord, you be my strength, you be my strength. And I learned that Gabriel means strength of God. And so we named our child Gabe. We decided to name our child Gabe, which means God is my strength. And that was something that I started holding on to. Like, God, you are my strength, and you be the strength of this baby with whatever is to come. I think we were discussing also about what might be in store for us
Like
if
for
this
us, I
child
think
is born.
the moment we came to know that we were pregnant with our sixth child, um, and even when we had told our two boys uh, that we are pregnant, they were so excited. They were so our three children rather. Sorry, uh, even Elora was there. So they were excited that we're gonna have another child. So they prepared the house. Like every discussion was about we're gonna play with our new brother or sister this way. We're gonna share our toys this way, and we were literally prepared uh, at home with our toys. Our kids were prepared with it, and when we came to know about this condition, it kind of shattered us. But we still kept holding on to the hope, saying that no, God will take care. Like He knows the best for us and our family, and whatever it is, things will go smoothly, and we'll be able to glorify God no matter what. I think we were also, the doctors even asked us, would you like to continue the pregnancy or would you like to terminate it? Because there is going to be a defect, there is a defect. What defect it is, how much it will survive, would you want the child to go through it, was our call. And we were like, for us, it was like, no, no matter what condition the child is, we will accept the child. We are ready for it. How it's going to be, we have no clue. What is going to be expected of us, we are not sure. But we knew that by then, uh, having 5 children and 3 already at home, we knew one thing, that God is there. God is our provider. He's our protector. He leads us. He takes care of us. And there was no doubt in regarding to that. How it's going to happen, we don't know, but we are ready for it. And when we come to know about this, and when we are not sure what exactly to do about it. The only thing that we knew to do was reach out to all our near and dear ones and our friends and part of the community and everybody. And everyone pitched in to intercede. And so much so that we had a small WhatsApp group that we had started. And we were praying. We had started a novena for the child, the Sacred Heart novena. And interestingly, we had people from different parts of the world who we do not know just join in. Like there were some priests, there were some nuns, there were some other faith people also praying for our child. Just randomly, people just joining in, saying we are praying for you. And then we had a chain rosary start. I mean, like for us, it was not just us waiting for the arrival of our sixth child, but we felt the entire world was waiting for our child to come. And that gave us comfort. It's not just us, but we have a huge army with us, a spiritual army who's praying, who's walking with us. And that helped us prepare whatever it's going to be. And I think we came to know that the child is not growing further. We have to deliver the child soon. And we went to the hospital prepared for accepting the child, no matter what the deformity is, no matter what it is, and she goes into the delivery room. The delivery happens, and I'm waiting outside for the news. And it's a long time, like compared to the other times that we had our pregnancies. It takes a long time. And I was just preparing myself, because I know there is a complication. And I've got instances. I think for some reason God has prepared me for that also, that I've gone to NICUs, and I know, I've seen how there are so many children who are struggling and suffering, and how the doctors are, putting all their efforts to, save the child and all. And I've seen that, and she also has seen that, and we have spoken, we need to pray for these children regularly, because, that those moments, a lot happens. And, that I think I was just preparing myself, not knowing what is happening inside. I was like, maybe the doctors are working on our child. There's something happening, let be. And after some time, the doctor comes out and tells me about the child. So what I come to know is, lot of organs of our child has not developed. Gabe's heart is not connected. The brain is not connected. The lungs are not formed. And whatever initial scan is, like, there's lots that is not right. And the question is for us, what we would want to do, because what the doctor said is, currently the child is surviving because of the life support. Like, if you remove the life support, the child will die. It's just breathing because the life support is going on. And what would you like to do? And the doctor is like, you guys need to take a call. And for me, it is like, I've still not seen Amulya then, because she's still inside the ICU recovering. And I'm supposed to go and break this news to her. And at that moment, I'm supposed to ask her opinion, figure out what we are going to do, what's our call, and what's our stand going to be. And for me, at that moment, I struggled for words. Like, how do I go and tell this? Like, what I'm supposed to go and tell her. But, for me, it was like, no, I have to talk to her. I have to discuss with her. So I remember when I'm going in and she's still recovering, still I think coming out of the anesthesia and those kinds of things. And she's still, figuring out what's happening, because even she is not able to see the child with her, because usually the child is next to you, but she's not seeing the child, and she has no idea what is the news going to be. And then I go and talk to her and tell her what is the condition, what is the reality. I don't go to hide anything from her, because she has to know it the way it is. And both of us, we were like, no, we let the child survive, whatever it is. We won't take a call about removing the child out of life support, but rather we'll allow the child to the due course time. If the child is going to survive, it's going to survive. Not going to survive, we can't do anything about it. So whatever we can, let's do it. And I think that we do tell that. And but the doctor comes back to me again after a few hours saying that I don't think your child is going to last this day. It would be great if you are prepared for it, and if even you prepare Amulya for it and the family for it. I'm like, I don't know how to do that. Like, how do you prepare somebody that your child is dying, get ready, like. And when the doctor comes and says, like, you if you want, you need to do and think, if you need to baptize the child or whatever. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, at once I was like, yes, we would like to baptize the child. I mean, I don't want to miss that opportunity, because I don't know how long it is. And the doctor is like, may not survive the night. So even the doctor is like, if you want to talk to the priest about the burial and cemetery, because by the night, if the child dies, you can't just keep the child for too long here. So I actually talk to the priest. I get a priest for baptizing the child. We baptize our child with the name Gabe Anthony. And I also have to talk to the priest about burial. And a grave is dug ready for our child, because the complications of the night, there's nobody, you don't get people to dig the grave later, so it's better you do that and all that stuff. And that happens. And the doctor comes to me and says, we would like to remove him from the life support, because the child is not really breathing. And we were like, okay, we will pray for our child, but we were okay. Like, you don't have to force that if the child is not. And we go meet the child, we touch the child. It's connected with all the tubes and all the gadgets possible and the wires. And then we come out, and then they remove the child from the life support. Now,
we were waiting for the
we were waiting for the news that what we were expecting the most, that the child is no more. And I think I had to even drop you back home because you were discharged.
No, I was still in
yeah,
the
you're
hospital.
still in the hospital. Yeah.
I had to recover from the C-section.
Interestingly, the doctor comes after a few hours and says that your child is breathing on its own. And we were like, it didn't make sense, because you just told me that you scanned their lungs and the lungs are not formed, and you're saying now that the child is able to breathe by itself without any external support. And slowly the child was able to, like, the oxygen level of the child was able to come to a normal baby level. And that's what the doctor is like, he's not, I mean, even the doctor is quite amazed to, to figure out what is happening. And the things that the doctor told me is, one, your child won't be able to breathe. Two, the heart of the child is not connected, so the blood circulation won't happen. So that will affect all the other organs. Because the brain is also not formed, there won't be any motor skills from the child, so the child won't be able to move its hands and legs. Because the kidney and the intestines are not well formed, so the baby won't be able to digest anything. And that is why the fluids will be collected in the body and all that stuff. And interestingly, Gabe was a fighter who, when they removed from the life support, he was able to breathe by himself. They were able to see the heartbeat stable. Like, literally everything was becoming stable by itself. So for us, every 3-4 hours, the updates are good updates. So that's where the whole journey starts with Gabe for us. Every day, different updates. He is slightly deteriorating. There is improvement. There's slightly deteriorating, slightly improvement. Like, it was like definitely a roller coaster for us to keep getting these updates, and like, oh, things are getting fine. And when you enter that place, sadly, there are so many other kids also we are seeing. They're all on life support. There's one child who's there on life support from like more than a month, and we see that child, and we see, and like, it just moves us that how many more children around the world that we need to pray for. And at that moment, it was not only to pray for Gabe, and we started praying for the other children also. And this continued with Gabe, like, his heart kind of function, his brain kind of function. When we went in, we saw Gabe looking at us, or at least his eyes were looking around as if he was searching for somebody. He held our finger, he moved his hands, and like, even as a doctor, the doctor was not able to figure out how he's able to do it. They were ready to introduced even the breast milk through the tubes. He was able to digest, he was able to pass
We reached
motion.
up to 10 ml of breast milk.
And that really helped us look at the sign of hope of recovery. Child is, maybe it's taking its time, things are happening differently, but it's going on. But I think when the 6th day came, is where the doctors came to say that his creatinine levels are increasing, his kidney is not really able to cope up, and that's when he started deteriorating. And within few hours, like, they called us, we spent time with them, we held them, and then, because it was a long time and she was still recovering. We couldn't keep her in the hospital for long. Then she had to go back home, so she was at home while I was waiting back in the hospital.
What was going through your mind when Kelvin was going through all of this in the hospital? What was your mind like?
Until then, I was like on this seesaw. Yeah, like, okay, things are going good. Okay, things are not going good. I really didn't know what to prepare myself for. Do I prepare myself for a baby coming home? Or do I prepare myself for the same memory of having to give back children's clothes? Like, you keep the baptism clothes ready. The baby is going to be born. And I remember, at least for our first miscarriage, we were so excited that we had the baptism clothes ready. And I had to give it back. So I was like, is it going to happen again? Am I have to go to give things back? Am I going to have to somehow try to reset myself? Like, there is no baby coming home. But then that was one side of it. And the other side was like, okay, no, don't think that way right now. Maybe there will be a baby coming home, and I had to take care of my health so that I can look after this child. And I also had to, we were with the family then, so the children were also there. So the children were also like, when is Gabe coming? When are we going to meet him? When are we going to see him? And I kind of had to tell them, like, he's not doing very well. We are praying for him, but let's see. Let's pray that he's able to come home, but he may not also. So, having to prepare them, having to look after my health, the family members really helped us a lot. Everyone really pitched in, ensuring that I am well fed, I am well rested, that I'm not too stressed about it. Even the nurses at the hospital were telling him that please tell her not to be stressed, and that we are also praying for Gabe. So that really helped. But it was like when we were waiting, it was on that 6th day when we were waiting at the hospital, and he was like going in and out, and I'm sitting outside and waiting, and he's like, he told me, don't think too much about this. Just try to be strong. And I just close my eyes and put my head back and tell the Lord, I can't. I want to just cry. And that is when I saw a vision of Jesus inside the NICU, and he takes Gabe very delicately and he holds him and he goes. And at that moment, I knew that Gabe was not coming home. I was like, okay, Lord, if this is what you're allowing, then help me through this, help me process this. So it helped for me to be stronger for the news that he's no more, that we will have to prepare for a funeral. We will have to tell the rest of the kids that Gabe is not coming home. We won't have another brother to play with. We will have to be just ready for that. And I think during the funeral, we all were at peace. We were hurting, we were sad, but not too overwhelmed, because we kind of knew that though we are burying Gabe, though we are saying bye to him, we will get to meet him one day. And our children were a real blessing at that time, because Oliver comes to me and says, Mama, we have to become saints. It's like, yeah, I mean, we do have to become saints. But what is the sudden urgency? Like, we have to become saints, because if we become saints, we will get to meet Roswell, David, and Gabe in heaven, and we will get to play with them in heaven. So we have to become saints. So in his mind, it was clear that we didn't have a loss. It was clear that our children are in heaven, and it was very clear that we are going to be with them one day. So we have to do our best to get there as soon as possible. So try to be the best people that we can be. Try to love God to the best of our abilities. Try to love each other to the best of our abilities. Reduce our time in purgatory, so that to really look forward to playing with them in heaven, to be with Jesus and with the whole family, to reunite there. That was really another miracle. It's like knowing that our child would die in one day, to having him for 6 days. And then the miracle didn't end there. The miracle was that we saw how it strengthened our family, that we were all looking forward to, we were rekindled for our desire for heaven. And that was really something, I don't know how else, I don't know. It was like a gift. It's like Gabe left us, but he kept a gift for us before he left. So that was something amazing that I think we experienced at that time.
Kelvin, as a father, you spent your last moments of Gabe with him. What was it like to experience that?
First of all, for me, when they mentioned about this condition, to be able to figure out, like, make decisions, because there was lots of people giving lots of suggestions, lots of ideas what I can do, what I should do, maybe you should do this, maybe you should do that. I was at, like, I had to take care of Amulya because she was also recovering. It was not like only one-sided, because she also just delivered a child and she had to be recovered. Our three other kids are back home. Uh, need to be in touch with them and make sure that they are also fine. And at the same time here, make decisions, make tough calls, figure out what's going to happen. I mean, like, there were times I was just lost. There were times where, like, how do I make a decision? Like, I'm not prepared for this. And what would be the best decision? Because, like, there was a suggestion, why don't you take the child to some other place? You can take it on an ambulance or an air ambulance. You can send it to a better hospital and they will be able to do it, and there'll be better doctors there. When then somebody else is like, but when you're doing it, the child will be traveling and the child is very fragile, might not make it to that hospital. And all these suggestions, bombardment of figuring out what I'm supposed to do and who I'm supposed to focus on. And it was hard to go back to God. It was honestly very hard to go back to God, saying, God, why are you making us go through this? Like, we already are at loss of two children, and for us, to even though we knew that they are in heaven and all that stuff, I'm like, why more and more struggle? Like, it felt like the other two miscarriages were just preparing for what's more ahead to come. And for us, Gabe's condition was like, oh, we're like, we have seen that part of our life, and now are we prepared for this? And what am I supposed to go, and how I'm supposed to console her? Because I know that she's grieving. I know that she is broken. I know I have to come up with things to say that will console her. At the same time, I need to go back to the kids and console them, because every time I meet them, the question was the same: when is Gabe coming home? And to give them hope. Yeah, we might be able to see Gabe soon. We might be able to play soon. It's becoming better. Like, everyone had those questions, and it was very hard to have a relationship with God then, to be able to go back to Him and ask His guidance. Like, Lord, I still glorify You in this moment. It was hard. Like, I remember we were both together in the hospital, and we were grieving and praying at the same time, thanking God for all the things that He has done for us till then. And for even, like, since we knew that Gabe wouldn't have survived the pregnancy and Gabe was still born, we were like, thank you, God, for at least allowing us to hold the child. Thank you, God, for giving another day. Like, and I mean, the moment Gabe held my finger, I was like, God, You allowed him to hold my finger. I mean, like, those were the moments we were like still able to thank God for. And when we came to know that He is no more, to process that, come back to her, console her, be with her, go back to children. And yeah, it was quite hard. But I know that there was a sense of peace, like she said, to know, we knew where Gabe is gone. It was not like we were unsure. We were not like questioning God, like, how could You do this, or why did You do this? But rather, we just knew that He's in heaven. We were sure that Jesus is taking care of him. And we truly believe that God spoke through us, through our children also. They're giving us that clarity, and He is in heaven. Like, that really, like, it is not something that we taught Him. It is not something that we made Him say. It is not something that somebody has guided Him to say those things from our children. But for our children to just speak about it and tell that He's a saint, He's there, and we can one day meet Him, and to talk to Him. Like, they came to us to also tell about, like, Jesus must be playing with Gabe right now, and Roswell and David, and maybe Gabe got a chance to meet Roswell and David, and all those things just gave us more clarity in, like, yeah, they truly three are on earth and three are on heaven. And our family needs a lot of intercessors, because I think we have a lot more to look forward to, and there's lots more going to happen in our lives. And not one, not two, three intercessors are still required for us as a family. So, and that is where it went. And even when I was supposed to, I never seen or never experienced this, but to able to receive the body of a child, your own child, like, uh, that is what I went through, to hold the body of the child, take the child, bring it to the cemetery, wait, to the burial, and all those formalities to be done, uh, was quite a tough journey. But through that, uh, we know that the people around us were with us, praying, constantly praying for us and stuff. And I think within a few days, uh, like as I mentioned before, there was a group formed, and we were all praying for Gabe, and like literally everyone joined in. And I think for us, within a few days itself, as we were processing it, we both strongly felt that the journey has not ended, because uh, through this pregnancy, through this time with Gabe, we realized we need, like, there are so many kids out there who need intercession. There are so many couples who need intercession, especially when it comes to abortion, when it comes to accepting children, when it comes to, there are so many couples who are desiring for a child and they are not getting. And that really help us, like, maybe we can start praying. And interestingly, we just put that same request in the group, saying that this is what we feel inspired to do, and if you are up for it, you can continue this group. And uh, I think for us, that was another miracle to watch, that everyone said, yes, let's do this. And it's been now almost more than a year, year and a half, going to be 2 years. And that group is so active that we are constantly praying for so many other children. There are so many children who were almost on the deathbed, recovered. There are so many couples who were desiring for a child from a long time, have been blessed with a child. And we truly believe that Gabe, along with Roswell and David, they are our intercessors, not only for us, but for the rest. And every intention, they are definitely bringing it in front of Jesus. And that is something that gives us the hope for future.
But I think, like, some may ask, well, there's so many people praying. You all really wanted Gabe to survive. You're ready for whatever struggles come. Why didn't he survive? What is the point of all this prayer if Gabe didn't survive? And the truth is, I had that same question. After we buried him, till the burial, I think God just allowed me the grace to not dwell too much on that feeling. But after the burial, I sat with God, and those thoughts just came in. And I remember being angry that, Lord, we didn't ask for a lot. We didn't say, let Gabe be completely fine. We knew what his defects were. We knew it would be a financial struggle. We knew that it would be difficult. And we were ready for it. I went back to God, like, when we were ready for it, why did he still have to allow Gabe to die? Was it bad to want him to be with us? And the verse that came to my mind was where Jesus says that if a child asks a father for an egg, will he give him a scorpion? So it's like, that verse didn't make sense to me. I was like, Lord, I didn't even ask for an egg. I asked for less than that. Even if it was half an egg, even if it was a broken egg, whatever I was asking, whatever we were asking for, was it bad? It wasn't bad. So why couldn't we have him? And I was like, and also Gabe was born through C-section. And that was my third C-section. So scientifically speaking, it didn't look like we could have a large family anymore. Many people were telling us that this is it. You can't have any more children. So openness to children, yes. Practically speaking, is it going to be possible? We don't know. People are saying it can't. We were ready for a child with defects. Did it happen? No. Are these things bad, what we asked? No. Did we pray really deeply, completely? Yes. Did we offer it up during Mass? Yes. Did we say novenas? Yes. We said rosaries? Yes. So why didn't it happen? Why? Is there any value to praying? So that was a thought in me. And I was like, God, like I'm sitting in front of the Blessed Sacrament. And I'm like, God, only you can answer me this question. I can't go to anyone else. You are the one who has to put this in my heart and help me understand what was wrong here. And God is like, yes, you didn't get Gabe, but wherever he is now, you know that he is with me. Is that bad? I was like, no, that is not bad. It's like, even though you may not understand completely, I have not allowed bad to happen to you and your family. I have not allowed bad to happen to Gabe. Whatever has happened to Gabe is good. Whatever has happened for your family is good. You may not have got what you asked for, but whatever I have given you or have allowed to happen is not bad. And it took me some time to accept that. Because I think when we think of death, we always think of it as bad. And it is not necessarily bad. Our soul being lost to the evil one, that is bad. But if our soul is going back to God, then that is good, even though it may not seem nice. And that helped me become stronger. Honestly, I still don't know what God's plan is for us about having a large family. Having 3 C-sections, I am still a bit sad that can we have more children? We still look forward to being able to have more children. We still look forward to conceiving again. How that looks for us in the future, scientifically speaking, we don't know. But whatever happens, it will be good. And not in our eyes, but if God allows it, then it is good. If God allows us to have another child, then He will help us through it. So we are praying. We are still praying that if we conceive again, then we will get a good doctor who will help us through that pregnancy. We are praying that the next one might be a normal delivery. Because if it's a normal delivery, then there are much more chances of having more children. But if it is a C-section, again, God will bless that doctor's hands to take us through that time. It opened us to discussing about adoption, that we shouldn't be too closed about only having children through our union, but maybe through adoption we can grow our family. That opened up different things that which otherwise we wouldn't discuss. So that helped me grow in my relationship with God as well. Some people say like God wanted this to happen. No, that God allowed it to happen. Why it happened, we don't know. But God allowed it to happen, and He was there with us. And it was good. It happened. That was good. And it helped us grow in our relationship with God. It helped us grow, I think, in our relationship with each other. We were able to communicate better, deeper, especially during this time.
Okay, so I mean, when it went with the communication part for us, I think the very first thing that we were started able to do was to share with each other what we both felt. Like from the time when we came to know about what is happening with Gabe, uh, both of us were scared, both of us were unsure, both of us were having our own struggles of what we are supposed to do and how we are supposed to process. And at that moment, I think what helped us is both of us to sit down, talk about it, share what I felt to her, and she shared what she felt. And the time where we decided that we need to pray together.
And I remember telling him, like, I'm scared. just spell it out. I'm scared. I don't know what's going to happen. I want these things to work. And if it doesn't, I don't know how I'm going to be. And that is when he asked me, would you like to say a prayer? And I said, I want to, but I don't know how to. And that is when I remember him holding my hand and saying, you start. And if you're struggling, I will pray with you. And it really helped me really offer a prayer at that time, really just pour my heart out. It was just, at that moment, it was God, him, and me. It's just the three of us are there. And I'm pouring my heart out. I know I'm pouring my heart out to God. At that same time, I know he can hear my prayer. So I'm pouring my heart out to him also. And you would also tell me, right? What is running in your mind? You really spell it out.
Yeah. So for us, it was, I mean, talking to each other about each and every step. And also, I think during that time, what helped us was basically talking about the victories. Like we kept looking back at, let's focus on the victories. It's not about the losses. It's not about the things that are not going well. We are losing track of the blessings that we are already being blessed with. That is something that we kept reminding each other, that we kept telling each other. Uh, what everyone spoke, what the science spoke, what medicine spoke, that this is not possible, but God brought out a miracle even through that. We praise God for that. I mean, like we are happy. Like Gabe would have died in the womb itself, but no, we were able to hold Gabe. So we sat together. We shared that joy together. We were happy that we could see him. Like, I mean, it could have been otherwise, but we were able to see him. He was able to hold our hand. So those kinds of things is what we spoke to each other. What we shared gave us that joys of the victories that we were able to achieve. And um, post the death of Gabe in few days, we made it a point to go out together, just the both of us, because I think for a long period of time we were just bogged down with so much about the hospital, so much about the health, so much about the child, and a lot of other things, and people asking us, people trying to console us with whatever they can, and those kinds of things. And we felt that it is important for us to be just take a little bit of time out just to spend. Yeah, I mean, for us, yes, it did sound weird that we just lost a child and we are going out kind of like a date. But I think we were very clear that we need this because we need our time out just to speak our hearts out to each other. Uh, we need the time out not to just just bury these emotions, bury these fears, but rather speak it out, rather share it with each other. And through that, I mean, post that, I mean, it's ongoing thing that we keep coming back to each other regularly to talk about what we are going through, to talk about. I think we used to do this before, but I think post what we went through, Gabe, emotionally, mentally, it's been a little more deeper for us to share with each other what we are feeling, what we are going through, what our fears are, what our thoughts are. Also, much later now, when we are still looking back and talking about it, talking about our vision, what we once shared about having a large family, and how are we going to achieve it? Like, that fear is still there. Fear of she already having a 3 C-sections. Medically, scientifically, what's going to happen? How much is her life at risk? Like, there's so much that the world speaks, and there's so much that has been out there which talks about how a man is selfish, doesn't think about the wife, doesn't think about the woman, and only worried about his own needs and stuff. But at the same time, it is both of us here. We look forward for a child, but I have to be mindful, being a protector. Am I making the right decisions? Am I taking the right calls? Am I just being selfish about myself, or what are we doing it? And this part of we actually sitting and talking to each other, sharing what our desires are, what our dreams are, what we are going through, what our fears are. And I think that is what is helping us connect more better, in a more better level. There is that slight fear, that slight doubt which still comes again and again about, you already lost 3 children. are you ready for losing more children? Honestly, no. I'm not ready for losing any children for that matter. But I know that whatever happens with us as a family, be it good, be it bad, or whatever we perceive it, uh, I think all that we know is we are able to glorify Him through our lives, and that is what kind of gives us hope to look forward. To be able to look at hope is very hard, but what is working, helping us is speaking about it. What is helping us is to know that whatever happens, it happens for His glory, and that this is the least thing that we can do is allow God to work in our lives. The least that we can do is uh, allow God to use us. Our bodies are His, our family is His, and everything, whatever we have, is given by Him. So when He takes back, it's His. It's not like ours that He took back. So that is something that is slowly helping us to look forward to another child. And yeah, something that really happened just after when we had gone back to the gynac after a few months, because to check her health. Uh, what gynac spoke to us is like, what the stitches that she did for you, right?
Yeah.
Where she mentioned is like, I've done it knowing that you might want to uh, have more children. I mean, it's the same gynac for the very first time was talking to us like, you're having more children. I mean, like, so soon, and are you sure? And those kinds of questions. Today, even the gynac of a different faith, she's not Catholic, different faith, but she is come to a point knowing that this is a family who'd like to have more children, and I need to support them in whatever possible ways I can. And when we heard her say that, I mean, like, it gave us a reassurance, like, I mean, there is hope. There is hope. I mean, how it's going to happen, what's going to happen, we do not know, but there is hope, and that is what we look forward to. That is what we are looking ahead of with our family. We have a vision. We have a vision that one day we'll have a large family. Like she also spoke about how we are talking about adoption. Like, how this large family is gonna come to reality is not in our control, but we are proud to be parents of 6 children. We are proud to be happy to have this family. We are happy to look forward for a more larger family, whatever God blesses us with, however He blesses us with, and that's what helping us walk further. That is what helps us look further and move ahead.
I remember there's this one time, during that time when I was still questioning God and asking God to help me through this, I felt Mama Mary, come to me and talk to me. And she's like, I also lost a child. And she helped me walk through the passion of Christ through her eyes. So as a mother, to know that your son has been taken, as a mother, to see your son being scourged, to see your son falling, to see your son stripped, nailed on the cross, and seeing him breathe his last. At every moment she wanted to hold him. At every moment she wanted to console him. And it was similar for me. It would never be to the extent of how Mother Mary would have felt, but I experienced a little of it, that I wanted to do that. I wanted to remove all the pain that Gabe was having, but I couldn't. And at the end of it, and through all of it, Mother Mary was able to say, Lord, let your will be done. And I could hear her say, like, when Jesus died, it was not the end. Because I asked her, Mama Mary, Mama, how did you go through that? How was it okay for you to see your son die on the cross and not ask God, is it really necessary? I could sense Mama Mary tell me, I knew that was not the end. I didn't stop with the death. I knew my son would rise again. And Gabe's death is not the end. Don't hold on to that. Yes, he has died. It is the reality. And yes, the other reality is also true, that he is in heaven and that we will all be there together. And I think that is how our faith has been growing, just moving with that, knowing that pain, illness, even death, destruction, these are not the end. It is there, it is a reality, it is painful. But when you are able to look beyond that and say there is hope, like maybe the person is not going to be alive, but there is hope in Christ. And Christ is alive, Christ is real, and He is our joy and our strength. So that really, even now when we have other issues, like if we have an argument, if things are not going according to our plan, we are still able to be like, okay, this is not the end, because Christ is there and we can hope in Him, and He's going to help us through whatever it is that we have to go through. So I think that's where we are for now.
Yes, thank you for this time. Thank you for sharing your life and for showing us how you guys are walking by faith. And it's really inspiration. I hope our audience people who are listening to you all, watching you all, may be inspired to follow what you guys have done and to just have your hope in Christ.
Praise God.
Thank you once
Praise
again.
God.
Kelvin.
Thank you.
Thank you.